What if the entrance of 2026 is already marked, and most people don't even realize it? What if the reason you're hearing this right now is because something is about to shift in your life, suddenly, unexpectedly, permanently? Not everyone will cross safely, not everyone will understand the sign, but those who do will never be the same again. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal may explain why you survived what should have ended you. I mark the entrance of 2026 with the blood, and if you are hearing this now, understand this is not an accident, not a coincidence, not an algorithmic mistake, but a divine interruption in your timeline, because heaven does not speak casually when it speaks with blood, and this message is arriving as an emergency signal, a prophetic warning, and a holy announcement that a door has opened which many will not even see, but you, yes you, have been positioned to hear it, because blood in the language of the Spirit is not fear but covenant, not death but access, not scandal but redemption, and as 2026 approaches, the atmosphere is shifting with urgency, with mystery, with trembling in both the natural and the spiritual realms, for what is coming will expose some, elevate others, and separate the distracted from the chosen, and I need you to listen with your spirit, not your ears, because this is a wake-up call to those who have been sleeping through their destiny, those who have been surviving but not living, believing but not moving, praying but not expecting, and heaven says the time of delay has expired, the season of almost is ending, and the prophetic timing is exact, precise, and unstoppable, because blood always marks a beginning, from the doorposts of Egypt to the cross on Calvary, and now again at the entrance of 2026, where God says I am drawing a line between what was and what will be, between cycles of loss and seasons of breakthrough, between old pain and new authority, and there is a warning here, yes a warning, because 2026 will not be neutral. It will not be gentle with compromise, it will not reward lukewarm faith, it will expose hidden motives, secret fears, and silent disobedience, and many will call it a scandal, many will call it chaos, many will say God has abandoned the earth, but those who understand blood will know it is protection, alignment, and divine order, because when blood is applied, judgment passes over, chaos is restrained, and destiny is activated, and you must understand this deeply, because you have survived things that should have destroyed you, you have walked through storms that should have drowned you, and you are still standing not because of luck, not because of strength, but because blood has already been speaking on your behalf, even when you did not know it, even when you felt forgotten, even when prayers seemed unanswered, and now heaven says prepare yourself, because what you are about to step into will require clarity, courage, and consecration, for the entrance of 2026 is not just another calendar change, it is a spiritual crossing, and crossings always demand a mark, always demand a sacrifice, always demand obedience, and the blood marks you as chosen, not chosen for comfort but chosen for assignment, chosen for influence, chosen to stand when others fall, chosen to speak when others are silent, chosen to build when others retreat, and hear me carefully, because this is where many misunderstand the prophetic message. Blood does not mean everything will be easy, it means everything will be purposeful, it means pain will no longer be wasted, tears will no longer be meaningless, delays will no longer be confusing, because destiny is being clarified, and God is saying I am closing doors you begged me to keep open, because behind those doors was distraction, delay, and deception, and I am opening doors you never imagined, because behind those doors is authority, healing, provision, and impact, and there is urgency here, because time is accelerating, days will feel shorter, decisions will feel heavier, and opportunities will require immediate obedience, and those who hesitate will miss moments that will not return, and this is not meant to frighten you but to awaken you, because heaven is moving quickly now, and the Spirit is saying do not carry old mindsets into a new season, do not drag yesterday's wounds into tomorrow's breakthrough, do not enter 2026 with unforgiveness, fear, or divided loyalty, because the blood demands alignment, it demands surrender, it demands faith that moves, not faith that hides, and there is hope here, deep hope, unshakable hope, because blood speaks mercy louder than accusation, grace louder than shame, and restoration louder than regret, and some of you have been living under labels that God never gave you, labels placed by failure, by people, by your own past, but the blood erases those labels and writes a new name, a new identity, a new future, and hear this, because it is prophetic and precise. 2026 will be a year where private obedience produces public breakthrough, where silent faith produces visible favor, where long sowing seasons produce sudden harvests, but only for those who cross correctly, only for those who apply the blood to their decisions, their relationships, their finances, their calling, their time, and their thoughts, because this is not about religion, it is about alignment, it is about divine order returning to your life. And yes, there will be shaking, there will be exposure, there will be moments that feel like loss, but they are actually deliverance, because God is removing what cannot go where He is taking you. And that removal may hurt, but it will heal you later. And I need you to understand something crucial, because this is where destiny shifts. The enemy has tried to exhaust you, distract you, numb you, and convince you that nothing will change. But the blood says otherwise. The blood declares this is your turning point, this is your reset, this is your divine restart. And if you are still here, still breathing, still listening, it means heaven has not finished with you, and there is a call to action now, not tomorrow, not someday, but now, to realign your heart, to purify your motives, to forgive fully, to obey quickly, and to step forward boldly, because 2026 will reward movement, not intention, obedience, not excuses, faith, not fear. And some of you will experience financial breakthrough, others relational healing, others spiritual authority, others clarity of calling, but all of it flows through the same gate, the blood-marked entrance. And as you cross, you must leave behind the victim mentality, the small thinking, the double-mindedness, and step into your identity as chosen, called, and commissioned. And hear this final warning and promise, because it is both. Those who ignore this message will still live, but they will struggle unnecessarily, repeat cycles, and miss divine timing. But those who receive it, who apply it, who align with it, will look back and say everything changed when I crossed that line, when I entered 2026 marked, aware, and surrendered. And so I speak this over you now, with urgency and hope, with warning and love. May you not miss your moment, may you not sleep through your breakthrough, may you not doubt when heaven is calling, and may the blood that speaks better things than fear, failure, and delay mark you, cover you, and propel you into the destiny that has been waiting for you all along. Because if you are hearing this, it is not an accident, it is your sign, your warning, your invitation, and your moment to rise. I mark the entrance of 2026 with the blood, and if you are hearing this now, understand this is not an accident, not a coincidence, not a random message drifting through your screen, but a divine interruption in your timeline. Because heaven does not whisper when blood is involved, it announces, it warns, it awakens, and it calls the chosen by name. And this is an emergency signal in the spirit, a prophetic alarm ringing across time, telling you that a threshold is opening and a line is being drawn between who you were and who you are about to become. Because blood in the language of God is covenant, access, and authority. And as 2026 approaches, the atmosphere is heavy with destiny, urgency, and divine timing. And many will feel confusion, pressure, and shaking, but you are being given clarity. Because if you are hearing this, it means you are not ordinary, you are positioned, you are marked, and you are being prepared to cross correctly. Hear this warning clearly, because 2026 will not be neutral. It will not reward compromise, delay, or half-hearted faith. It will expose hidden motives, secret fears, and silent disobedience, and many will call what is coming a scandal, chaos, or collapse. But those who understand the power of the blood will recognize protection, alignment, and divine order. Because whenever God marks an entrance with blood, it means judgment passes over, destruction is restrained, and destiny is released. And you must understand this deeply, because the reason you survived what should have destroyed you, the reason you endured what should have broken you, is because blood has already been speaking on your behalf, even when you felt forgotten, delayed, or overlooked. And now heaven is saying the season of survival is ending and the season of assignment is beginning. This crossing will require something from you, because every prophetic transition demands surrender, obedience, and courage. And the blood does not mark you for comfort but for calling, not for ease but for impact, not for hiding but for authority. And God is saying, I am closing doors you begged me to keep open because behind them was distraction, delay, and limitation. And I am opening doors you never planned for because behind them is influence, healing, provision, and expansion. And this is why time feels accelerated, decisions feel heavier, and delays feel intolerable, because heaven is moving quickly now, and those who hesitate will miss moments that will not return. And this is not meant to scare you, but to awaken you to the seriousness of this hour. Yet hear the hope embedded in this message, because blood speaks mercy louder than accusation, grace louder than shame, and restoration louder than regret. and some of you have been living under labels that God never gave you, labels placed by failure, people, or your past, but the blood erases those names and writes a new identity, and this is prophetic and precise. 2026 will be the year where private obedience produces public breakthrough, where silent faith releases visible favor, where long sowing seasons suddenly erupt into harvest, but only for those who cross aligned, forgiven, focused, and fully surrendered, because you cannot carry old wounds, divided loyalty, or small thinking into a season that demands clarity and courage. So here is the call to action, and it is not for later, it is for now. Realign your heart, purify your motives, forgive completely, obey quickly, and move boldly, because 2026 will reward movement, not intention, obedience, not excuses, faith, not fear, and some of you will see financial breakthrough, others relational healing, others spiritual authority and clarity of calling, but all of it flows through the same blood-marked entrance, and those who ignore this will still live but will struggle unnecessarily, repeating cycles and missing divine timing, while those who receive it will look back and say everything changed when I crossed that line. And I declare this over you now, may you not sleep through your breakthrough, may you not miss your moment, and may the blood that speaks better things than fear, failure, and delay mark you, cover you, and propel you into the destiny that has been waiting for you all along. What if everything you thought was breaking you was actually preparing you? And what if the exhaustion, the tears you never explained, the prayers you whispered in the dark were all leading to this exact moment? You didn't just survive the last season by chance, you were carried, protected, and marked for a reason you're only beginning to understand. There are moments when heaven leans close, when time slows down, and when a single decision can change the direction of an entire year, even an entire life, and this feels like one of those moments. Something is shifting quietly but powerfully, and if your heart feels heavy yet hopeful at the same time, that's not emotion, that's recognition, because deep down you know this message is touching a place only God has seen, and what comes next is